In the world of astrology, one of the most important factors to look at when trying to assess situations, world patterns, etc., is planetary stations. And one such station is due to happen in late July 2022, the station of Jupiter near 9 degrees of Aries. And when I look at this station and I compare a number of charts that I think are very interesting at this point in time, namely the chart for the Orange Menace, the chart for Vladimir Putin, the chart for Joe Biden, and the chart for Liz Cheney, we notice a lot of contrast in the way Jupiter is operating within these charts. When you look at Putin's chart, the station happens in a sign opposite to his Libra planets, his multiple Libra planets, including his sun. There was a comment in the channel that this is a good thing. It is not a good thing. When a planet, any planet, is making a station like this opposite your planets, particularly in the context of the war that he has started, I see that as highly problematic. And then, of course, you would say, well, when? Stations happen very precisely at the exact degree, which is at the end of July, but you easily add at least 2 weeks on either side. So not good for Putin. Then we look at the Mar-a-Lago Emperor, and we see that those degrees are also highly problematic because they trigger his axis Hollywood T-square made by Neptune, Mercury, and Eris. Most precisely, the square is to Mercury, and it's from the 9th house of legal affairs. And you can see things are moving in this direction. So you can anticipate that period is not good at all. But now look at Biden's chart. And what do you see? You see that the 9-degree Aries range makes a trine to his 9th house Pluto, which is, first of all, co-ruler of all the Scorpio planets in the 9th of international affairs, which is precisely what is happening in his life. He's essentially leading the US in its response to Russia. But this is a very favorable trine. And as I've said in a different video, contrast this trine from Jupiter with last year's opposition to that same Pluto, correlating with the Afghanistan withdrawal debacle. You can understand that whereas that was very difficult for Biden, this is very positive in the summer period when Jupiter is stationing. And then another person that reflects this station in a very interesting way is Liz Cheney, who is, in a sense, not the leader, but a very important player in the January 6th committee investigations and the potential for all kinds of people, starting with Trump and those who surround them, getting in all kinds of trouble as we move into late spring and into summer. Well, for Liz Cheney, Jupiter in that station trines her sun. Whereas, look at last year when she was first starting to oppose Trumpism in a really intense way, Saturn was opposing, which of course is much more difficult. But now, in the summer of 2022, Jupiter is very helpful to her. So there you have a number of people who are being affected by a very important planetary station, but in very different ways indeed.